Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So I'm called Egamos and today I'm going to be teaching you on how you can scrap OpenSea without being blocked by Cloudflare. Okay, so our main purpose of scrapping today, it will be to scrap the floor price of the NFTs and also that we can monitor them, but you can as well continue scrapping, like making automatic bot that will be able to trade for you, maybe buy and sell for you at the right time, and then you can look through multiple or thousands of trade at the same time, so you can always get the best price. And then you can see OpenSea was using Cloudflare in order to restrict you from scrapping data from their website. Okay, so but today I'm going to be teaching on how you can bypass that with a module in Python called Cloud Scrapper, which you can use for this. Okay, so now for this we are going to be scrapping the floor price. Okay, so now I'm just going to move into the stats and let's go to the rankings. Okay, so it's just going to load up the rankings, so you can also pick the categories right there and all the just whatever you want. But for now I'm just going to let's scrap all of this right here. Okay, so we are just going to copy this URL. Let's copy it. So wait, let's also open this in a new browser, so it's also going to load right here. So but let's move back here and so you can see these are the NFTs listed right here. So you can see the first one right there, Bo Abiach Club, and then Doodles or whatever you can pronounce it, Fanta Beer, and then Mutang Abiach Club. Okay, so now you can see this is the list of the NFTs right there. So you can see these are the first 100 NFTs right here, and then you can move to the second 100. They have been specified in the 100 onwards. So we are going to first of all scrap this one. So let's just move back. So I'm just going to move back and create a new folder in my SD card or my internal storage. So I'm going to go into my internal storage and we are going to create a new folder there called so let's call it NFT, so that that will be the main project, the main file which we are going to be storing our project under. So now we should create we are going to create a main page.py. Okay, so maybe a py or whatever. So we're just going to look for the NFT. So you can see this is the file I just created called NFT, and then we are going to NFT. Okay, so we're going to create so let's call it nft.py, and yeah, we can start coding. So we are going to start by importing Cloud Scrapper. So you can import this module. You can import this module as well. So before you import it, you are going to need to install it first, and then you also need to install Python. So now I'm just going to call it, make a variable called Scrapper. Then we are going to use Cloud Scrapper. So this is the way you initialize it. Scrapper.create underscore Scrapper. And then you are going to use this perimeter right here. So I'm just going to use browser. So you need to specify the browser which you want to use. So you can use a browser, you can use a mobile browser or whatsoever you want to do, but for this purpose I'm going to use Chrome. So you can just look on their documentation to see what you can do. So I'm just going to use Chrome. You can use Firefox as well. Only support Firefox and Chrome as well. And then you can also specify that you are using it for the mobile device or maybe the desktop or whatsoever. Okay, so now I'm going to create another variable here called HTML, and so we are going to just use scrapper.get. So you can use the get, it's just like a request module in Python. You can use get, post, put, or whatever you want to use. So you can also add your headers, or you can also send a request via the post request, which you need to pass data and whatsoever right there, the content and the other parameters right there. So now we are going to use the get, and then we are going to pass your URL. Okay, so you also go with the same way that you use the request module by going with the URL and then the data and then the headers. Okay, so now I'm going to pass my URL right there. We're going to be using only it because it's going to take care over the, so as we specify, either is a Chrome browser, it's going to specify the user agent for us, so we don't need to do that. So with some other Cloudflare protections, you can be able to bypass it by just simply using the, so you can be able to bypass it by just simply using the user agent, which is going to bypass it, but in this case it never worked. So we are going to like print the HTML source code. So I'm just going to run print HTML and that. Okay, so we are going to move back to we are going to just narrate over to the to where we had the file located. So before you narrate over, I need to run this command tmux set up storage. Yeah, I'm sorry, should we storage? Okay, so you just click yes. It's just going to navigate you into the storage. It's giving you permission that you can be able to access your storage, okay, or your SD card or whatsoever. So now I'm just going to run into CD SD card. So I'm moving into my SD card. I'm going to the file that we just created called NFT, and if you want you can see the nft.py file that we just created. But I'm just going to first of all run the cool on this particular URL so that we should see what's happening. So you can see it's never going to work because you can see the error code 1020, which just simply means the protection of Cloudflare, means that you hit one of their firewalls, which is just happen to be the firewall of the OpenSea, which is protecting their website from being scrapped. So you can see we are going to bypass this with the cloud scrapper, and if you run now python.nft.py, there's too much code out here, man. Maybe there's a reason I'm overdressing and typing a lot of wrong stuff right here. So nft.py, and let's run that. So you can see the response is 200, okay, which means it's just okay. So the reason is because never dump us all the text file or the return transfer to the console is because I never put this text file. So you need, with this, also know it, if you have been using the request mode in Python, you also know that. Okay, so you're just going to run it again. So this 200 means the status code is 200, which means is good. Okay, so you can see I've just dumped all the HTML source code right there. So now we need to scrap. Our main aim for us right here is to scrap the floor price. So to do that, we need to scrap the floor price and the NFT name. Okay, so you are just going to go to view source, to view the source code of this website. So you can, the same source code will be dumped on the terminal right there, but the problem is that we cannot really see it clearly. Okay, so we are just going to do this so that you can just dump everything right here. Okay, so now we need to first of all get the NFT name. So you can see this name right there, NFT name right there. So you can also see the floor price. So this, you should look around if you can see the floor price right there. I think it should be somewhere here. So you can also see the number of owner of the NFT, how many people own the NFT as well. That is, so you also need this floor price. Okay, I'm sorry, there's the floor price right there. So I'm just going to first of all copy. So let's just copy the floor price. So we are going to copy it. So the reason why I'm copying it that way is because as you already know, so we can always use beautiful SOAP in order to scrap data from the HTML of the source code. But this JSON format, this data has been flowed in JSON format because it's running with some type of the Facebook GraphQL thing. So it's running behind it, and that's why it's dumping this data in front of this with the HTML by just in some JSON format. So we cannot use beautiful SOAP in this case, and that's the reason why we need to use some other method. I'm going to be showing you the method that you are going to use in order to scrap this data. Okay, so let's move back into coding. So now HTML does split, so we're going to use the split function right there, and then we are just going to paste it. So I'm just going to use a single quote right there, so you have double quotes right here, and we are going to close it right there, and then we also need to close the split statement right there. And then if you just try to run this right here, it's going to run just okay, but it's not going to show. But you have exploded some type of information right there, but you cannot you will not quickly notice it right there. We have already did it. Okay, if it was PHP, it would have already shown in an array form, or you can use the pretty print function in PHP. Okay, in order to see it pretty clear. Okay, but for this we are just going to move on, and we are just going to specify dot split again, and just split again. So we need to split it to see the final ending of this. So you can see when the price, after the price, we split it to the first to this first double quotes right there, and then we need to show an end at the first single quote right there. Okay, we can also specify to read and continue to the second flow. You're just going to read this stroke right here. So but you need to read an end at the first apostrophe. Okay, so we are just going to put it right there, and I'm just going to use single quote in order to place it at the center right there. So now you can pretty much, if you print this at the moment right now, you think it might going to work, but it's just going to show us an error. So you can see an error right there. Object has no attribute split. Okay, so the reason behind this is because we have not specified where it need to, what index should be reading at. So we can specify it should read at the first index, which is 0, and then we also need to say we need to read an end at the first index right there, which is also 0. Okay, so you just need to read an end at the first index, because the first index is the first double quote. Okay, so that is it right there. But this first 0 right here is just simply make sure read the first price, and then the first index, you should need to know this. The first index is always going to be the HTML source code, the first line of the HTML. So what I'm referring to is this first line right up here, just this line right here. Okay, I'm talking about this first line right up there. Okay, so the 0 index should be that line. So let's run it and see what I'm talking about. So you can see I've just read the HTML source code right there. Okay, and this is the first index. The first index is going to be any page that you are trying to like extract data from. It's going to the first index, or the 0 index is going to just read the first line of the file. Okay, it's from the second line I start reading what you want. Okay, so you can see it read and end at this double quotes, the first double quotes right there. And then it never moved to the second double quotes right there, as you can pretty much see. So there was call coming on, but I just blocked it right there. Okay, so now let's move in. We can, so if we move into the second one, if we move into the second one right there, to the second one which just happened to be at the first index. Okay, so let's run it and see. Okay, so you can see the price. You have just put you have picked the price of the first price. That is the first price of the NFT. Okay, so you can see, we can pretty much see, you can see 17 command point that. So if you, let's just load, I think there are some trades. So when trades are going on, so this thing keep rotating, going up and coming down, going up and coming down. That's why we're having 17.77 right here, but it was showing there. So they just simply mean it have increased. The trade volume have increased, or the floor price have increased. Okay, so you can see so there's the floor price right there at the moment. So it's 17.27 right there. So it's a little bit confusing, but we are going to like instruct it and get it in a more better form, so they can pretty much see it. So I'm just going to rerun this one more. Okay, 77.7. I think that's the normal floor price at the moment now, but they haven't reflect at the it haven't reflect here, but that's it at the moment. So we should also pick, we can move down at the second one. So let's just go to the second one, which just happened to be this dollars. This second one is just a dollars. So I'm just going to I'm going to extract that as well, so we can be having the name. So you can see it's 10.7. We are not seeing it, but let's just move in right there on the dollars, and then we see the floor price at it. So we are going to best see the floor price right there, because we are seeing it at the first page. But if you move right there, you can see this is 10.7 being the floor price going really. Okay, but out there is just going to try to display some other some information which is not really clear for us. But if you are moving in right there, we can pretty much see the clarification right there. So we can see it was 17.77, but let's move into the board APH club and see. So it was 77.77, and we should see the floor price should be 77.77. Okay, so you can see this is the floor price right here, 77.77, which is pretty much clear right now. Okay, so you can see, okay, so we can just click right down to see it. So like down here in the plus sign or more, and it's going to display it to us. I forgot even, I'm sorry, so I mistakenly click on it again. So let's understand. I think you understand the idea behind it. Okay, so now we can also pick the name. So we also need the name of the NFT. Okay, we don't just need the price. We can be seeing the price, but what we actually see. So we also need to pick the name of this NFT. So you can see this is the first one, the Mutant Apiachi Club. So I don't know if it's the first one, but you can. But those there is just how the names are represented. So I'm just going to copy it right from there right up to that end. Okay. So we are just going to move down a little bit. So I'm just going to move this and name it. So we are just going to call it floor. We should call it the floor price, I think. So we are just going to call it, okay, floor price. Should be that. I'm just going to paste this where I copied in order not to lose it. Let's just copy everything. I'm sorry. I'm going to paste it right here, and then we are going to name that name. Or let's just say NFT name, which is equals to that. Then we can just copy this back and paste it up there. So we are just going to simply replace this with a name, and voila. So from at the moment right now we can simply print them in a form that pretty much look like this. Let me just get this, so we can pretty much print them like this. So print NFT underscore name plus, then we need to put a space and floor underscore price. Okay, so it's just going to print all the NFT and the floor price of that. So you can pretty much see we are doing at the index of, we are just taking at this second index. So let's just move on and start at the first index. The first index is supposed to be 0. Since we don't need to be reading the HTML, we are going to be reading at some 1, which just happens to be the second index of it. Okay, so now let's run it and see. So well, if everything goes right, then we should be having this first one right there, the board arch club. That should be the name, and the floor price right here should be 77.77. okay, so you can see the board arch club, and then the floor price there is 77.77. as we can also pick the second one. So we can also pick the second one. And print it. So you can see the doodles, which is the floor price is 10 point something. So the second one is doodles, as you can see right there. So the floor price is 10.7. okay, so now so you can see pretty much we are doing great at the moment right now. But you can, based on this, you can see the main aim we want to do is to loop through all of them. Maybe you want to just pick the first, so we are going to be doing, we should just pick the first I think we should pick the first 50 NFTs right there, and then we can loop through each and every one of them in order to see how if the floor price have increased, have decreased, and all of that. Okay, so now let's just say, okay, so we are going to be using the for loop for x in range in range of so we need to start reading from 1. We don't need to read from 0 because 0 is that HTML file, so we need to read it from 1 to 50. So we just need to get the first 50 right there, and then so we need to do this now and shift everything in front. So now we are going to replace, instead of putting 2 right there, we are just going to replace this with the x value that we just did up there. So it's just going to loop through each and every one of the first 50 NFTs, and it's just going to dump all of them so that we can pretty much see them in the terminal right there. So let's run it and see. Okay, so okay, yeah, this should be an error because I never put this double quotes right there, and I'm sorry. I'm calling it double quotes. I don't even know the name moment. So let's just see what is going to happen. So you can see I've done all of them, the first 50 NFTs right there. Okay, so you can see it's just going to start with the first one, which is the Yap Club, and then the second one, the what is called Atlanta BS, which is 6.65, and then the Mutang Upcharge Club, which just happens to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one, Mutang API Club, which is 15.0. At the moment it's 15.0. that is the floor price. So let's move back and see if we are right. So you can see this is the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. So you can see the fourth one is there, is the same name like Mutang Upcharge Club, and then you can see it's 15.0, which is just 15 right there. So you can see we have just crafted all of them right here, and you can see there is it. So we are pretty much through in this video. So you can pretty much move up, continue like to scrap. You can even scrap more and more in range and get into the range. So let's just put a range of 200. So you can pretty much look at it to try to, maybe you want to just monitor and see if the price is going up or it's coming down. So you can do a check right. If price of this is equal to greater than this, you can, maybe you might want to specify in, maybe you are specified at looking at specific NFTs, and then just monitor their price, know if they are increasing, decreasing, or doing what, so they can pretty much pick them and monitor. So you can even move up, and then you can even scrap to about 1,000, okay, depending on what you want. Okay, so you can see there is a bunch of them right there. You can move up. So there are a lot of NFTs. You can even move up to, let's try 1,000 and see if we are going to get them. So there are a lot of NFTs. People keep creating them all day, and then there are just a lot of them out there. So you can see there's about 1,000. Okay, it's not up to 1,000 in that list. Okay, that's why it's showing me an error right there. X on light. Okay, it's not really echoing me there from what number is having the error, where just pop up that. Okay, but you can reduce it and see to 500 and see if there's a 5. They're up to 500 right there. Okay, so they're not even up to 500, but we can see, let's try 400. I think maybe they just put by the first NFTs which are there, maybe the first 400 or what, the first 400 or first 200. So I think it's not there. So let's go with 300. Maybe I think it should end around 300 right there. So the first 200 NFTs which are growing might be the one that they are taking consideration into. Oh, it's really tough, guys. So we are just going to end it there and to keep on doing that, so you can know maybe that's 200 or that, so you can pretty much check. And then as well, you might want to like continue, so you might want to click on this particular this like this. Let's just put the board up here club, and I'm sorry, so you might want to click on them in order to monitor. Maybe you see the transactions that are going on right there, like the activity, maybe, because you always want to monitor the activity. My right script that may automatically monitor these activities right here. Okay, so you can see like monitoring each and every one of these activities right there, and then see if people are buying. So you can see this list sale. Okay, sales. So you can see these are the sales right there, 79.99. There's people just selling. So you can see this rate of Ethereum, 79.99. Somebody's buying Ethereum at this market. So you can see this really pretty much. It's so much money right there, profit, and all of that. Okay, so you can, maybe for you want to maybe see the current ones that are there that you can buy and all of that, so you can track them, and then you can automatically write script that are going to monitor each and every one of those NFTs, and then you can automatically buy for you, doing a lot of that. Okay, so you can see you can pretty much make money with this. But for this, I'm going to end the video right here. If you like the video, leave a thumb up, okay, so that you can share this content. And then if you're interested in making money with gambling, I share matches right there that you just simply need to bet on them and make a lot of income from them. Okay, and if you're interested in book bounty hunting, this is a channel for you, because you are going to learn how to develop your own tools in order to make love income from book bounty hunting, and you need to know how to clone website and do a lot of that. So this is a channel for you guys, and stay up to date with the channel, and make sure you leave me a subscription there in order to share this content, this important content with the rest of the world. Thank you for watching up to this stage.